Welcome to the Local Roast, where we spill the real stuff about running an indie coffee shop so you don't have to learn everything the hard way. Again. I'm Monica, founder of Discover Local Coffee and marketing consultant for indie coffee shops. If you want your cafe to grow without sacrificing your spirit, your sanity, or your sleep schedule, you're absolutely in the right place. If you run a coffee shop, then you and I both know that 2025 had a lot of nerve. Some days felt incredible, and you thought, yes, I am thriving. I could run a second location. Then the very next morning, you walked into a broken espresso machine and thought, actually, maybe I'll just run away. It was a roller coaster. But here's the twist most cafe owners didn't expect. The shops that focused on a few simple, steady habits actually grew this year. So let's break down what 2025 truly taught us and how those lessons can make 2026 feel calmer, clearer, and way less chaotic. Being discoverable makes everything easier. One of the biggest things 2025 taught us is that being discoverable matters. And no, I do not mean becoming a full-time content creator who also happens to own a cafe. I'm talking about making sure people can actually find you when they're standing in a parking lot typing "coffee near me" with desperation in their eyes. The cafes that grew this year didn't do anything fancy. They kept their Google profile updated. They posted fresh photos that looked like real life, not a stock image of a latte that has never existed on Earth. They made sure their hours were accurate, because nothing ruins a customer relationship faster than a locked door and a disappointed caffeine seeker. These tiny updates added up fast. 66% of Americans drink coffee every single day. You don't need to convince anyone to want coffee. You just need to help them discover your shop. Consistency is the real queen here. Your story is what sticks with people. Another major lesson from 2025 is that people want a cafe with a story. Medium roast became the top choice for specialty drinkers this year, which proves people love nuance and character. And that same desire shows up when they choose which cafe to follow and which one becomes their place. The cafes that built genuine loyalty this year shared the real human moments. They talked about why they created a seasonal drink. They introduce their team and how they keep the shop running when everything goes sideways. They celebrated their regulars because we all know every cafe has at least one who drinks oat milk like it's a personality trait. A polished aesthetic is optional. Your story is essential. And it is also the one thing big chains can never copy, no matter how hard they try. Small events build big energy. Now let's talk events, because this part was honestly delightful. The most successful events this year were tiny. We're talking takes 10 minutes to plan and no one cries in the walk-in refrigerator, tiny. Latte flights. A small table for a local artist. A cute little book swap. A short tasting night that doesn't require a logistics degree. These low-effort moments created such a noticeable energy shift inside shops. When 43% of adults enjoyed an espresso-based drink last week, you already know people visit cafes for something they can't DIY at home. Add even the smallest event, and suddenly their usual visit feels special. Special moments turn into, oh my gosh, you have to check out this place, which is the marketing we all love. Free, honest, and powered by customers. If your weekends felt like a mystery this year, a couple of small events each month might be the plot twist you need. Community is your superpower. Community came in strong this year. The specialty coffee market reached about $52 billion in 2025, and a lot of that came from people choosing independent cafes over chains. People want places where they feel known, appreciated, and welcomed. They want a cafe that feels like it gets them. The shops that grew consistently were the ones that leaned into that. They remembered names. They replied to comments. They reshared guest photos, even the slightly blurry ones. They supported local makers. They created spaces where people felt like they belonged. Community is not just a nice to have, it is your superpower. And no giant chain can replicate the vibe you create. Simple systems keep you sane. Now let's talk about systems. I know, not the sexiest topic, but hear me out. The cafes that ended 2025 feeling confident were the ones that embraced simple routines. Nothing complicated, just support systems that protect your energy and keep you from living in crisis mode. The specialty coffee market is projected to keep growing, but your hours in the day are not. The owners who felt steady had a few habits they could always rely on. They batched photos once a month. They planned events by the quarter. They updated their Google profile weekly. They used penny profit to understand their M. Anu, so no drink quietly drain their margins. Systems don't make you rigid. They make your life easier. And they give you space to breathe, which is honestly a business strategy all on its own. Where this leaves you in 2026. If you carry one message with you into 2026, let it be this. Growth doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things consistently. Stay discoverable. Share your story. Create tiny moments that make people smile. Build community. Set up simple systems that support you. You're building something real, something meaningful, something your neighborhood is genuinely proud of. Give yourself credit. You're doing better than you think, even on the days when you feel like you're just holding the portafilter together with grit and hope. If you want an easy first step, try Penny Profit. It helps you understand which drinks support your bottom line and which ones might need a small adjustment. It is free, fast, and built specifically for independent cafes. You can